I'm just not really having the best day ever. It's just really hard to move on after my parents left.
But I think it's time to bust a chill. Bulletproof, gun nothing so lows. Far away, far away. Beautiful bird, Katie.
Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of Screen Time. I'm your host, Matt. Today we're going over M3GAN 2.0, the highly anticipated sequel to the hit horror sensation. Now, does this one live up to the expectations or does it short circuit? Let's get into it. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, do all those good things, leave a comment. Set 2 years after the original M3GAN, we follow Gemma, who reluctantly revives her AI creation to combat Amelia, a military-grade android who was built by a shady defense contractor and now has gone rogue. What follows is less horror and more action thriller with mixed results. One of the most interesting choices is the change in genre, going from the original M3GAN, which was a camp kind of slasher, dog gone mad kind of vibe, into more of a action heroine who like cyborg showdown action thriller kind of vibe, which a lot of the time causes the film not to know which group it wants to be in. And again, it can be both, but unfortunately throughout the whole film, it just feels a bit confused. Don't get me wrong, there are some great kill sequences, but unfortunately due to that rating being PG-13 or M depending where you are, a lot is shown off screen or, in shadow, which leaves us to just, want either more or just choose a side. It needed to choose whether or not it wanted to be action or horror, because with that rating, it can't accomplish both very effectively. All right, so let's talk about the villains. There are two villains, Amelia, who looks absolutely fantastic, baddie vibes all around, but we'll get into that. And the mystery villain, if you watch the film, it is quite obvious who the mystery villain is in the first few times where you get introduced to him. Which doesn't leave a lot of room for tension. When the twist plays out, you knew that was going to happen. You know who it is. So there's no real kind of tension. All of that is wiped away, which does lessen the impact and viewing experience. They could have done a lot more to conceal it and make the mystery villain be a little bit more mysterious, if you will. Now, the messaging. So this film talks a lot about AI and its integration, into everyday life and what its role has on society. But unfortunately, it is quite surface level. But I think that may be on purpose. This film is directed towards a much younger audience. Its aim is that, 13 to 25 range. And they don't want to sit through or not a lot of them want to sit through a lecture about, the dangers of AI. But I think there's a missed opportunity here to do a little bit more of a deeper conversation, because that audience that they're directing this film towards are the people that are going to live in the world longer and experience the outcome of what we're going through right now with the development of AI. So missed opportunity there, but I understand where they were coming from with just leaving it surface level. And keeping the film fun. All right, so moving on to Katie. She is a lot noticeably better in this one. She's definitely matured as an actress, and her scenes with Gemma are a lot more interesting and compelling in this one. She balances that whingy child with the forgotten about child very well. It doesn't really go towards one side or the other. It never becomes annoying or just be quiet, girl. What are you doing? There are some moments where she does make questionable decisions, but I feel like those decisions are warranted, unlike in the first film, which some of those decisions weren't. But yeah, so the pacing, surprisingly better than the first. So the first M3GAN had very slow pacing. We really didn't meet the killer M3GAN until the last 30 minutes. But this one, M3GAN's there by the 30-minute mark. She may not be killer, but she's there and it's a lot more interesting and compelling of a film. We get straight into the action straight away with Amelia and then M3GAN. It's quite, picked up the pace, which is great to see. Although the last 30 minutes, 20 minutes ish are a bit nuts. The film doesn't really know how to end. It has so many different little story threads that it needs to close before it ends that it just keeps going. At one point, M3GAN is killing people. The next, she's inside someone's head. The next, she's dead. And then the next, she's back. It's just a lot's going on. And then the stuff with Amelia and Katie and Gemma, it's quite a lot. And the film throws you around and makes stuff go really fast, but not in a good way. You feel rushed and you feel like they're cramming so much into that final act. They didn't really need to do all that, or they should have expanded it and maybe started that third act a lot sooner and drawn it out a little bit more. Not expand the runtime, but maybe push other sequences away or just simply cut them. Now, visually, it slays. M3GAN and Amelia both look fantastic in their new fits. M3GAN has a few outfits that kill, that look incredible and that hit the screen really well. And the cinematography is also really strong with the use of lighting and other things. They're both, the two AIs are both very fashion forward, which I'm here for. And yes, M3GAN sings again, which I love personally because I found the singing in the first film so fucking funny. Proof, got nothing to lose, fire away. And so off-putting that it just needed to happen again. But this time is different. She sings with Gemma, which makes Gemma feel really uncomfortable and more like how the viewer was reacting to the singing, less how Katie was reacting in the first one. And she was like, can you just stop? Which made it super relatable and a lot different experience than what it was like in the first one, which I'm here for. But you can feel the writers ticking boxes. Now, they saw what went viral and what hit in the first one, and it feels like they were just like, yep. So singing, M3GAN, yep. Dancing, M3GAN, yep. M3GAN, doing weird stuff, yep. But I don't think they really understood what made M3GAN work the first time around. It feels like they were just ticking boxes a lot of the time, and hoping for the best, really. There wasn't a lot of, apart from those few moments where it was like the first one, where they kind of innovated in a positive way. I wanted to see new stuff, not just the stuff from the first one that worked in a different kind of setting. But, I still had fun, so whatever, it's fine. So is M3GAN 2 any good? Not exactly. It's a weird tonal shift for the franchise that shifts more into the action heroine genre rather than the campy horror that we were used to in the first one. So if you were coming into this film expecting the campy horror, you may be a little disappointed. But if you're open to a wild, fun time with killer robots, then, check it out. Have you guys seen M3GAN 2? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.